So I'd like to introduce our first speaker. Christopher Orchard is an artist and educator. He is opening Michael Chorney's show today. Congratulations, Michael, on this beautiful, beautiful exhibition. I'm very, very happy to have you. All of the artists who are showing today, thank you for making us look so good, quite frankly. Christopher is an artist and educator. He's had two major exhibitions at the Art Gallery of South Australia. 2017, he was the feature Sala artist and had a major publication about him published by Wakeful Press. And he's got an exhibition in New York in April, which is no mean feat. So, would you like to come up? Thank you, Christopher.
Professor Chorney, what a show. Fourth iteration, and quite remarkably moving. I suppose as you all walk around, you can see, like we all can, the inherent energy in Michael's drawing. He likes working with his whole body, hence the scale of the exhibition. You'll notice the arc of the arm, the arc of the torso, the weight of the body pushed onto the medium itself. Charcoal, carbon on a surface that kind of replicates lithography to a certain extent. Lithography is where a print is made off a stone, but there's a certain texture to lithography that comes from the stone. Michael achieves it through hand drawing with the hand. So there are these beautiful formal qualities in his drawing. The other thing I noticed from the last, one show that I opened in Murray Bridge some time ago, Michael's, there's other things happening, you know, he's wiping the charcoal on the surface. Go around and have a look when you get a chance. And in doing so, he's spreading this kind of carbon material around the surface, and then he cuts back through with an eraser, revealing, and it's almost like, you know, like you dim the lights on the surface of the drawing, and then you hit it with the eraser and the light starts to come on again, and you start to develop a sense of form. And he follows, this guy over there, he follows the form. Watch his marks, watch the way the marks traverse the topography of the bodies of these extraordinary animals. So as he crosses the bridge of a nose or rounds a chest muscle or whatever, you'll see the marks traversing the volume of the form. The other thing that Mike and I had a brief conversation, a couple of years ago we had a long conversation, it went for about 4 years I think, a lot of red wine and a lot of problems solved. But the interesting thing too is that as practitioners we know what it's like to be alone. It's a you know, if you choose to, it can be, it's not lonely business, but it's a business you want to conduct by oneself, for oneself in the first instance. And I know the experience as well as Michael, and we talked briefly about it. Entering the studio, potentially in the morning, feeling optimistic, and this is not Michael I'm describing me, but I bet it's familiar. And every studio has a comfortable chair, right? Every studio has a comfortable chair. The artist sits in the chair and appears to be doing nothing. But really, what they're trying to deal with and quell is the fear that God's taken it away. They'll never do another drawing as good as the last one they did again. And I've been in that position for 5 hours sometimes, sitting in a chair in my studio, staring at a piece of blank paper, thinking, should have been a taxi driver. The odds are better. And then 5 hours later, I go and and it's a desperate act. It's a desperate act, not for Michael, but it is for me. It's a desperate act. I put a curved mark near the top of the paper. And for some reason, I don't know what it is, it's like throwing the I Ching. And suddenly that little curved line starts to open up a whole territory in the surface of the paper that was invisible, but now becomes visible. And then I start drawing, and then I realise I could have done it 5 hours ago. This is common to Michael and I. This is common to people who work in studios as long distance runners. And so, you know, we hold our breath and, you know, hope for the best. When Da Vinci was doing the Last Supper, he used to sit, he would run in to Maria del Grazie, the Capella, and he would sit there for 4 or 5 hours. And the little abbot who was supposed to be overseeing the project, this Last Supper, was going to become so iconic, would say, you know, Leo, when are you going to finish? You know? And Leonardo, this is out of, you know, Vasari's diary. Leonardo would run up to the work. He would alter the shape of the toenails. I'm making that. He would alter the shape of the toenail foreshortened coming towards us, and then leave. He'd be gone for another 2 weeks because he's trying to invent a helicopter. You know, this sort of stuff. It's just an amazing capacity that poets, candlestick makers and artists have to be able to harness stillness. This guy does it like a magician. Lastly, note carefully, if the rectangle and the square is a stage, watch how he breaks the fourth wall. By that, people who are in theatre know when the fourth wall is broken, everything is declared. Oh, that's right, I'm watching a play. You can't suspend it anymore. Michael breaks the fourth wall by breaking the rectangle. Some of his protagonists literally challenge the picture plane. They push almost into your space. So this work also takes on a sculptural aspect. Note the distance the drawings are out from the wall. Note the fact that there's no glass between you and the drawings. These things are sitting bravely in the world, just like him.